And the task of cultivating your heart involves planting seeds in your heart. Your thoughts, which become your words. Your thoughts are actually unexpressed thoughts. When you speak them, they become words. Okay? So your thoughts are the seed that you plant in the soil of your intentions. And that's how they become actions. Your thoughts will generate a lot of emotions in you, and emotions will trigger actions. And repeated actions become a habit. And a sustained habit becomes your character. And your character defines your brand. And your brand determines your destiny. We relate and connect with brands the same way we connect with human beings, through the signals that we produce. And those signals are either attractive or repelling. Now you are grown, you've started a business, you're an entrepreneur. Remember, I look on social media and even videos, YouTube, and some of the entrepreneurs that I watch, the way they talk, the things they say, and their mindset. Listen, you're not going too far with that. You must cultivate your heart. Remember, the Garden of Eden, the heart of God, is your place of protection. So you need to inhabit in there. But in your heart, God placed the free will, the ability to say yes and no. And that is your temptation. You must discipline yourself enough to say no to a lot of things that come, the urge to react, the urge to speak back, the urge to show them how angry you can get, the urge to argue and win the argument. These are simple examples. That's why when I talk with a lot of people, I tell them, you know, there are a lot of things that are not evil on and by themselves. But when certain habits enslave you, you become weak in many other areas. And many other things will come and have a free will with you. That's why disciplining yourself, make an inventory. In this life, you want to become the most efficient you can. Why do you entertain unproductive habits? What do they bring to you? Sometimes people ask me, is it okay for me to smoke or do things like that? I don't respond. I think once you understand the priorities of your life, you will know what decisions to make. You will know what habits to drop, even for the sake of practicing victory over unproductive habits. And as an entrepreneur, we're talking about $1 million goal. What does the $1 million mindset look like? What is the level of self-discipline that you need to develop? You indulging every thirst, every hunger, every emotion? Just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean you have to speak a certain way. Self-discipline. This is very important. And consistency must be added to that. Consistency. And so I would also add that to consistency, I want to add iteration. Iteration, you know, you can be consistent in doing certain things, but in another season, you're going to have to iterate some of your habits, some of your practices, some of your routines, because now you're in another season and you need to address things differently, you need to respond differently. So self-discipline, focus concentration, consistency, iteration, patience, humility. A cultivated heart, both good and evil, come out of your heart. I repeat, the signals that will attract people to your brand or repel people from your brand come out of your heart. If you want to learn more about this, cultivating your heart, come join our group. We have a group called Let's Talk About Branding and Social Media. Join that group because our goal in that group is to build our hearts, to build our businesses, to cultivate and develop our brands to become iconic, powerful, strong, attractive brands. Because if you are able to communicate through your brand something deeper than just the price and the features of your product, people will want to connect with things that are meaningful. That is how you will begin to apply these principles of God. The principles of God are the automation mechanism. Put it on automation. Once you internalize these principles and they become your nature, the word becomes flesh. Once this becomes flesh, then it becomes an autopilot process. Then relating with your customers and producing videos and communicating your content and brand message, it becomes what people call natural, but I call it supernatural. Developing these superpowers is key. Now remember, the duty to cultivate your heart doesn't belong to your absent father or your angry mother. It doesn't belong to the person who raped you, who hurt you, who abused you. It doesn't belong to the United States government or the police department. It doesn't belong to the community. I am responsible for cultivating my heart. Based on the future I want for my life and the path that I choose to get to that future, I must cultivate my heart accordingly. And I have to be diligent about it. I have to be consistent about it. I have to be aggressive about it in order to succeed. Entrepreneurship is a journey of life. I repeat, entrepreneurship is a journey of life. Adam was placed in the garden to cultivate the garden. He was told to only eat fruits and herbs that contain seeds in them. That's because whenever he broke a fruit and ate it, he dropped the seeds. And those seeds produce new trees and more fruit. People can count, even an idiot can count the number of seeds in one fruit. But only God knows how many trees and how many fruits are contained in one seed. The power of the seed. What are you planting in the garden of your life, of your heart? Think about that. God protect your heart. The Hebrew word for God is build a military garrison with air force, with submarines, with machine guns, with fighter jets, with the Marines, with special forces. Protect your heart is the most precious piece of real estate. It determines out of your heart flow your brand, flow the streams, the sources of life. Okay? Let's go.